Yo, 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 word is bond, family. Peace and love, wholeness, oneness, unity. Primordial darkness and supreme light, family. Let's get into this build today. In year 9, the year of the snake, it's only right that we talk about the Ophiuchus energy, the cobra, snake, goddess energy, right? We're also going to be making a connection to the Anuhazi as well, primordial entities, feline, lioness, hominid beings. So now to begin, when we're talking about Big Mama energy, you have to first understand polarities, right? And extremities, right? Which essentially is connected to the separation on the energetic level. It does not mean that it's not interconnected still. It only means that the subatomic, atomic, and molecular components and compositions vary with these energies, right? So as above, so below. In the macroscopic plane, same for microscopic plane as well, right? The spiritual, physical planes as well, right? The deities are connected by base metal subatomic particles, to name a few, such as hadrons, tachyons, leptons, biops, Higgs boson, protons, electrons, neutrons, and zealous particles, right? Different energetic compounds and levels of force and magnetism, etheric properties differ in many forms, but understand all these energies are conscious, right? And underneath the consciousness. What's the Big Mama energy, right? The protectors of Sekhet Neter, right? The divine field, right? The lady of Ankh-Tui, right? Or Ankh-Tui, right? Ancient Kemet, Tamari, right? So you have to understand the energy of Bastet holding the sacred rattle, right? It's the reason why they don't want us connected to this lioness energy. Cemeteries of cats have been excavated at what many sites include the Nile, which is the Mississippi River, Saqqara, and the necropolis of Memphis, right? Which is the capital of Kemet. And the life was given, right? Again, from the goddess Wadjet or Bastet, right? These are the same deities, just different energetic forms, right? Because the womb is so intelligent, right? The womb is actually the most intelligent force in entire existence, right? Of everything and nothingness. So when we're dealing with the goddess energy or Big Mama energy, right? You have to look at it from different energies, different angles, right? Of light. Because all of these different angles make up the base form, right? Which is the carbon, the dark matter, and the melanin, right? So let's talk about the goddess Wadjet, who is another aspect of the great mother Aset, Segmet, Heru, Hanet, Bastet, right? Because the connection is the womb of all, right? El All Kulahum, which is all things in existence, right? We are all one essentially, right? Goddess of upper and lower Kemet, right? Which is pretty much the heavens and the underworld. It's so much spiritual knowledge, right? Surrounding the goddess Wadjet, right? She represents Ophiuchus, right? The cobra goddess. The Kemetic cobra goddess, right? The protector of the underworld. Her snake was also depicted, her symbol was also depicted as a snake, right? Once you understand the 13 seat, right? 13 energy, Ophiuchus, this 13 zodiac. The solar flares are connected to the 13th zodiac, right? Which is the black sun energy. So the solar flares of the bird wing eruptions are connected to the Lyran energy and Elohim, Amazonian, avian energy, right? As a combination, amalgamation. Sekhmet, Bastet, Aset, Heru, and Hanet. The serpent Kundalini feeds the eagle, right? Which is the pineal gland. When the serpent spine juice, the Kundalini fire crosses across the spark gap of the hypothalamus and meets the winged bird. One is reborn, right? Which is the representation of Ophiuchus, the cycle that we're in, right? Going back to the galactic center, activating the philosopher's stone, which is at the mouth of the serpent, which is 0 point. So Ophiuchus is 0 point, the balance, right? The nothingness in between, that is your true self. At the center of your brain, right? Which is the connection of the left and the right hemisphere, is your third eye, right? Which is connected to your reptilian serpentine energy brain, the limbic system, where the pineal gland, which is solar masculine, and the pituitary gland, which is lunar feminine, meet at 0 point again, which is the alpha and omega. The intersection between Libra, which is the golden age, and Aries, which was the silver age, the age of darkness and deception, which we just left into Ophiuchus, back into the center, right? The heart of our mother. So again, the serpent goddess is represented as the large Uraeus, right? A rearing cobra serpent, right, on her crown. The Uraeus is always shown on her crown as the pharaohs, right? Or shown on the crown as the pharaohs, right? She also became identified with Bastet, like I said, the cat warlike warrior goddess, right? And as Wadjet, the same deities, the same beings. She was depicted on the head of a lioness, combining the attributes of a lion and a cobra, right? And revered to her powers for protection and her skills as a fierce combatant, right? So understand that the Lyras or Anahazi are the cat-like feline beings from the Lyra star constellation, with the brightest star being the Vega, which is 25 light years away from Earth, right? So the Lyras are in direct correlation to the Elohim and the Etherians, right? We take many forms, right? So the many forms we've taken include feline species as well as many other animal forms of a genetic variant, right? Genetic splice program, which is actually ancient alchemy. We've been doing stuff like this. Beings included such as reptilian, bird-like beings, bulls, snakes, and cat-like beings as well, right? The Lyrians are cosmic architects once you understand their power, their energy. These beings are trillions of years old, and they're protectors and protectors of the Akashic records. Vega, a bright star in the constellation Hira, holds diverse spiritual meanings across various cultures and hermetic cosmic systems, right? It's often associated with creativity, magic, and dominion, and can represent artistic talents as well, especially in music and performance. Some traditions also link Vega to protection, victory, and even divine favor. Lyran starseeds are amongst the most oldest souls in this universe and the most wise. They are also the gatekeepers of the Akashic records, like I said. Remember, Akasha means ether, the Sanskrit words. We are the cosmic guardians, the Lyrans. That's why you have to understand this war that we're in is directly connected to the Lyran Empire and the Draconian Empire, right? Which is the Cat's Eye Nebula of the Draco star constellation, right? This war is galactic and is billions and trillions of years old, right? In Earth time, trillions of years old beyond Earth time zone. So Bastet, which is the lioness energy and segment energy, is seen everywhere in ancient texts and papyrus, right? Which connects to the galactic center as far as the goddess Wadjet and her serpentine energy, Ophiuchus, right? Aset, this is all connected, family. Overstaying this beef runs deep, right? There were grafting processes when the Draconians began to conquer the Lyrians, right? Or Anahazi, which created an even more powerful force, which leads to the different star seeds, right? And the powerful one descended. We're talking about interbreeding, genetical, molecular structures being spliced together, mutated together, right? From beings such as Lyrians, Elohim, Titans, Reptilian, Avians, and much more, right? Energetically speaking, of course. Lyrians are sometimes described as the type of starseed, which are individuals that are known to be incarnated here, right? To help to raise the consciousness and ascension of humanity, right? Or the God-like beings here. They carry wisdom of the divine creation within their symbols and architectures, right? Crystal technology as well. This Lyrian protector energy is directly associated with the supernatural and paranormal, right? So this awakening was a part of the evolutionary cycle back into the sun cycle, right? That raw energy, right? Right? Because you have to understand that every being incarnates through the earthly wombs, right? Which is the gate of man. And we become eternal beings through the gate of the gods, right? Which is the galactic center, right? Which is the black Ophiuchus energy again, right? With the sun's alignment with the galactic center on winter solstice, the sun will be in the sign of Ophiuchus, which is the serpent holder. This represents man, the energy of man crossing over back to the gate of the gods, the higher consciousness. The serpent bear is represented as Ophiuchus, 12 disciples plus the Christos energy, which equals to 13 Zodiacus, Cobra's goddess energy, right? The Cobra's goddess Wadjet energy, right? Wadjet energy. The Ophiuchus, the serpent bear, the Cobra goddess. Her name also found in Egyptological literature, right? Ancient papyrus known as the green one, right? The true green one, the true divine force, right? Referencing the color and the actual energetic force behind it. Green is the love, unconditional love energy, right? Royal energy. You have to understand the serpent, the royal Uraeus, the symbol of sovereignty, is backed up by a superhuman force of destruction, right? When the cobra is worn on the royal headdress or crown, according to the text, right, the cobra, it means that you have ascended into higher gateways. You have become a god, right, a higher being, divine being. This emblem is also Wadjet rising up in anger against wickedness to spit flames in defense to the monarch, right? Word for serpent normally used in Latinized form of Uraeus, right? It's the same word. In war, the Uraeus from the king's brow destroys his enemies with her fiery breath. The sun god Ra also wears the Uraeus, right? Which envelops his solar disk. Within his coils This solar force is the energy of annihilation of all wickedness, which is the mother giving divine power back to the sun gods, the life force, the solar radiation. Full cycle, full circle. In the end, everything must return back to source. Ashe, Primordial One.